Hey gang, welcome back to the Gill Athletics Connections podcast, where we bring you the stories of track coaches from around the world. I'm your host, Mike Cunningham, and it is my honor and privilege to bring you the stories of these great men and women. This week, I've got an awesome interview with Zach Ball of Towson State University. Now, in the podcast world, you record on one day, you may publish on another day. This one is one of those situations. So, was honored to interview Zach on Wednesday going into the Division I Indoor National Championships. You can tell from his tone and excitement, there was a lot of expectations, high expectations on his athlete in the women's shot put, which was to be contested on Friday, so 2 days later. We were both just super excited to see how this young lady would perform as Towson's first indoor national qualifier. Emotions were high. Expectations were high. I'm now recording this intro on Friday, and we're supposed to be seeing her compete tonight, right? Well, as you probably know, unless you're maybe hiding underneath a rock, the 2020 Indoor National Championships for NCAA, Division I, Division II, and Division III were all canceled due to the coronavirus threat that we have going on right now. Completely gutted for all the athletes, their coaches, the programs. This affects so many people, parents, the workers of these facilities, the NCAA workers, people that have put in so much time, effort, money into hosting these supreme top track and field meets. So was unbelievably ready to tell you how great she did, or just what a wonderful experience she had, and unfortunately was not able to have that experience. So kind of bittersweet as you listen to this interview. A lot of expectation. I'm sure this same expectation was from around the coaches in this country. Everybody was ready and pumped, ready to put on a show and perform, and unfortunately, we have to wait till 2021. So in the meantime, please enjoy this awesome interview. So humbled Zach Ball would sit down to me. The wise and wonderful Zach Ball. Yeah, I'm not very original, so we just roll right into it. So
cool, man.
So we're going here. Hey, thanks for joining me, Zach.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is exactly what I was hoping when I started this podcast. So we are literally in my hotel room in Albuquerque.
That's right.
At NCAA's, which you just told me this is fascinating. What a great season. This is your first. Is this Towson's first indoor qualifier?
Yeah. So we've had a few outdoor qualifiers. Mm-hmm. We had one in the Hammer a couple years ago, and then a lady in the Javelin back in like 05 to 08, somewhere in that range, and maybe one or two more, but we've never had one indoors, so so it's pretty cool to make some history, and obviously, so we're pretty excited about it, and
absolutely
see what we can do down here.
And so is this a weight thrower? Is this your
shot putter? Yep. So that's one of mine. Yep. So she's got a pretty interesting story. She was a 39 foot shot putter out of high school, and this is her fifth year. Last year, she actually had surgery, broke her foot.
Holy crap.
She was out all year, and literally no meets, really no training, just trying to get healthy, get right, and has just been on a vengeance this year. So
a lot to unpack there. First of all, she was a 38-foot
high school shot putter. That's right.
What is she tall? Is she like 6'2"?
She is probably 5'6", 5'7", so she's a little shorter, but she's got a big motor, and she's got some pretty good determination, and her work ethic is just off the charts.
That's key, right?
Yeah, that's over half the battle.
Yeah, so you can be a great coach, and
yeah. She's definitely come a long way, and so we're excited about her being here and representing us. So.
And you mentioned last year she broke her foot?
Yeah, I think it was a ligament or something. And actually, I had gotten to the job in September, and probably 2 weeks before I started, they had kind of made a decision to have the surgery, and she'd be out for the whole year. So she redshirted all year. Watched as another one of my athletes who's pretty good broke her record. So, and so now I have both of them this year, which has been a lot of fun. And and so she's just been ripping it through. So her 2 years ago, her PR was 1579 indoors, and this year she's throwing 1675. So.
What's that in English? I've coached in 15 years now, by the way, which just makes me an old man.
I know.
So I've completely lost the metric.
What's that? So her previous PR, I know, I'm the total opposite. Her previous PR was probably around 52 feet, and this year she's throwing 55, 56, something like that.
Wow.
I don't know the exact feet off the metric. So yeah, it's been awesome for her.
Who was your predecessor? Who was the throws coach?
Jeff Rebels. He did a great job. He's at Illinois State now.
Right.
He got a hammer thrower to nationals a couple years outdoors, and was just really took Lauren to the next level, and so I've just been able to come in and take what he did and keep it going. So
that's awesome.
And
what kind of emotions did you have? So you start this job at town. You come from Northwood, another great throws history program there.
Yeah.
And your stud. I'm doing air quotes there.
Yeah.
Right? Is out for the year.
Of course. It was definitely interesting. We also had. It's good when you have a couple studs. So I have another young lady named Michaela. She's also a senior this year.
Okay.
She's a 67.9 weight thrower, a 53-foot shot putter.
Yeah.
So she threw over 1630 this year, and just threw 2066 or 2067 at ECACs, which was school record, meet record. She's Italian, so she broke the Italian national record with that throw. So
cool.
So she, came in last year as a transfer from South Alabama, and she did a lot of great things and broke Lauren's school records that she had. And
so these two are just battling.
Yeah, it's a pretty. Our school has been calling it kind of my two-headed monster. So in the shot put, and so but we have a lot of great girls. This year we were the number 6 weight throw squad in the whole country with the U.S. TFCCA rankings.
I love that they started that. That's probably year 5 or so now.
I think they started it my first year out of college.
Yeah,
so I think that was 15, 16, something like that.
I think that's super cool. It gets a little bit away from the team aspect, but it is kind of like, okay, well, here's the best weight throw team, the best long jump team. It's interesting because of the depth side of it.
Yeah, and I like because it shows, a lot of schools have really good kids, and, but it gives, maybe mid-majors that don't get a ton of, love all the time, but, it shows that we were deep. I mean, we had 4 girls over 18 in the weight this year, and 3 of them were over 1933, so pretty good girls. And
where is Towson located? It's in Maryland.
Maryland, yep. We're about 10 miles north of the Inner Harbor in Baltimore. So.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, so it's kind of, just enough away from the city where, we don't get crazy traffic, but it's a great place, and we definitely love it there and everything it offers. So
And most of your kids from that area? I mean, it's a big area to recruit.
Lauren's actually from the state of Maryland, so it's pretty cool to stay in the state and all that. But we have a lot of girls from PA, New Jersey. Like I said, Michaela's Italian, so she actually is from London as well. That's where her mom lives, so she's got a very interesting story too.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so a lot of from within the area, Virginia, PA, New Jersey, just kind of all the bordering states, and Maryland, of course. So.
Well, I mean, the population density there is amazing.
Off the charts.
A lot of good athletes, regardless of sport. Yeah. So, and again, congratulations for getting. What's the young lady's name here?
Lauren Coleman. Yep.
This is. I say this every time I can. The D1 Indoor National Championships, hardest meet to make.
100%.
Maybe in the world. I know the Olympics is tough, and I know the trials is tough.
Yes.
Holy cow! This meet every year, it's amazing, and I walk away saying it'll never get better. Like there'll be a down year the next year,
right?
And then the next year is amazing. Last year in the span of 2 hours, there were how many world records and NCAA. It's crazy. So I mean, to get a kid here, regardless of event, is
of course
unbelievable.
Yeah. No, it was. We were. She's had a great year in kind of her last 4 weeks of the season. I just keep throwing farther and farther and farther. And what's cool is we actually came down to Albuquerque 4 weeks ago for the Don Kirby meet in hopes of getting here, getting in the facility, and being back. And so that's where she threw her PR. And so she got to throw there. She also competed at USA's that same weekend. So to have kind of that experience for both of those. She
so she has a lot of good feelings about this place.
Yes. I told her, like, even when we got off the plane, we came out of the same gate, and like I'm in the same hotel room that I was in last time. So like, just both of us are feeling pretty comfortable right now. So it's a good feeling.
We lose sometimes the psychology side of it. It's all about the strength and the technique, but there is absolutely some positivity feelings on how kids perform or don't perform.
Absolutely, and that's one thing she's done a great job. Is she's just she's just very just normal all the time, and she doesn't get too high, she doesn't get too low.
That's a good trait.
She stays really focused, and she usually tells me to calm down when I get too excited.
Yeah, I was gonna say I could learn from that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so she's been great, and so like I said, we're excited she's here to represent herself and the school and us. And
what's her major?
So she actually is in MBA right now. So
holy crap!
Yeah, so she's in grad school. She graduated last year with her bachelor's, and
wow,
she's got like a 3.8 GPA in her master's right now. So
it doesn't surprise me that a kid that accomplished athletically also has it all together. It seems.
And she did an internship with the NCAA last summer, like some type of camp or something.
Yeah.
And so she's someone that you're going to see probably the NCAA president someday or something like that.
Dang, I was about to say maybe we need to hire her,
but
if she's going NCAA president, she's past us.
She's pretty awesome, so she's going to be really successful in life.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
And, so take a step back from NCAAs. You guys also compete in the ECAC, I believe.
Correct.
I don't know much about the ECAC, IC4A.
Yeah.
But you guys, as a team, won it.
We did. We just won it on Sunday. So,
wow.
And what was crazy is we won it, and Lauren didn't even go because we were preparing for this. So we won it without essentially.
That's 10 plus points.
Oh yeah, and she's
that's
number one shot putter and probably top 3 in the weight throw at that. So.
So how many teams? Tell me about the ECAC.
Yeah, of course.
It's a big I have this vision it's like 50 plus teams or something.
Yep, it absolutely is. I don't know how many teams actually went to the meet, but I know 47 teams scored at the meet. So so probably 50, 60, maybe a little more. So it's all the Division I schools for the most part on the East Coast.
Okay.
And, last year was we got third, and that was the first time. We ever ranked that high,
right? And
so we felt pretty good about this year, and and the weight throw we got 21 points, and we scored 21 points in the 60, and we had a pole vaulter, a hurdler, a 200 shot put, so we were triple jumper, so kind of had a lot of different areas covered. So
what and is that in lieu of a or is that your conference meet, or is there?
So our conference is the Colonial Athletic Association, but they don't sponsor an indoor conference. So it's the week before NCAAs is the ECAs, so that's kind of our indoor conference meet. But like I said, because NCAAs with Lauren, we're focusing on that. We want to get her right for that. So to go out I was up at Boston at BU, and to go up there. And
is that where it's at? Was it BU?
Yep.
Oh man, I was just up there like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, there you go.
I interviewed their head coach Gabe Sanders.
Oh yeah, of course.
Gabe, great. Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, I got to interview.
Yeah, they're doing some good things up there.
They are.
So it was fun to get up there.
And that was the first time Towson's won the ECAC.
Ever, yep.
That's amazing.
Yeah, last year I said third was our highest finish ever, and then this year we won it. So
wow. And who's the head coach at Towson?
Mike Jackson. So, so he was at Ramapo College for I think 10 years, something like that. And this is his 5th or 6th year at Towson now, and he's just an incredible person, an incredible leader, and just really allows me to just kind of control my group and do what I do, and helps me as much as he can along the way. So
wow,
he's taken Towson a long way in a very short amount of time.
How big of a school is Towson?
Yeah, we're a state school, so we do have, I think we're at 23,000, something like that.
Oh wow!
So it's pretty big, and it's kind of growing exponentially in the last, I think 5 or 6 years. It's enrollment's gone up like 5,000 to 7,000 people or something crazy like that. So it's constantly growing. There's construction everywhere, and building and expanding. So it's pretty cool to be a part of.
What's it cost to go to school there?
In-state tuition, I want to say, is about $9,500, something like that. Okay. And then out of state, I'm gonna ballpark at like 18, maybe something like that. So it's not.
That's not. Sadly, that's not bad.
I know, right? It's crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a great place to be, and definitely fortunate that Mike gave me the opportunity, and allowed me to come out of Division II and
Right.
come to Division I and have that experience.
Well, so you said coming out of Division II.
Yep.
And, outside looking in, now there's a lot of great coaches that will listen to this, and the smart ones know. Oh yeah, like there may be a Division I, Division II, and even of course a Division III, but especially in the throws, there is some major compatibility to that.
Yeah.
So before Towson, you coached at Northwood in Michigan.
Yep, correct.
And they either are or were in the same conference as the Ashland.
They still are, yeah.
Oh, okay, because there was some split, right? Finley.
Yeah, Finley, Tiffin,
yeah.
Walsh, Malone, schools like that. They all went to the GMAC conference in Hillsdale, and so they all kind of split there. And so, but Northwood stayed in the GLIAC. So
who's all in the GLIAC still?
It's Ashland, Northwood, Saginaw Valley, Grand Valley State.
Oh yeah.
Some pretty big powerhouses there. Ferris State, Northern Michigan, Lake State, Michigan Tech. So teams that are constantly at the top of the rankings and constantly have tons of kids going to nationals. So
that conference used to be unbelievable. It doesn't sound like maybe it got a little easier,
but it's still pretty high. It's a great conference, and obviously I went to Ashland, so competing for Judd and then competing against Judd in the same conference.
Well, it's his fault. He creates too many good throwers that become good coaches.
That's right. So it's a good thing,
Yeah. And I definitely want to get to Ashland and Judd Logan, because I think so much of Judd.
Absolutely.
But let's start with Northwood and then work back. How long were you at Northwood?
I was there for 3 years. I started part-time, making nothing as most coaches start off, and was a program that had a few national qualifiers here and there, but I came in, I think there was 5 throwers, and by the end of 3 years we had like 12 to 14 throwers. Had broken almost every school record there, and
now that was a decent little throws program.
Yeah, like I said, they
break those school records.
They had a lot of people that were like top end, but the depth was just never there.
Sure.
And so to be able to create that depth and have kids become All-Americans and get the nationals and tons of provisional marks.
Yeah.
So it was a great place to kind of go in and start my own, kind of thing. And I knew if I could compete with Judd, not beat him, but just compete with him, that I was, maybe this was the job for me as a coach. So
did you know you always wanted to be a coach, or did that kind of come late, or was it your last resort? Or
No, yeah, I mean, obviously at Ashland, Judd has tons of throwers, and so, he likes to, rely on a lot of the older guys, helping out the younger kids to get them ready. And, they do tons of camps, things like that. So, I was always involved with that and always involved coaching, at the camps and helping, my younger teammates and things like that. And just kind of as the years went on, it just kind of, hit harder and harder, and I liked it a lot more. And I was like, this guy wears sweatpants and a t-shirt every day to work.
There's the draw.
So that was the one right there.
Sure.
And, got to be, paid to be in track and field all the time, which I thought was just crazy.
Right.
So, I internship with Judd my last year and just kind of watched from behind the scenes some of that stuff. And it just, I knew this is kind of what I think I wanted to do. And then after a few years at Northwood, I know there was no turning back.
Yeah, you're 5 years into the career now.
That's right.
What was you were exercise science?
Yep, major? Exercise science.
What did you think before the light bulb kind of turned on for coaching? What did you think?
Yeah, I mean, strength conditioning, obviously, and I think those kind of almost go hand in hand, or being an exercise physiologist, stuff like that, but just working with some type of athletes, some type of sport, it's stuff I definitely enjoy. So, but then I was, when I could kind of move it to coaching, I was like, this is perfect, So.
Did you went to high school in Ohio?
Yep.
Were you, obviously you did track, of course. Any other sports?
I played football when I was younger, did basketball, did wrestling. I actually used to race four-wheelers. So,
really? Tell me more about that.
Yeah, so my dad did it for forever and got us into it when we were probably 10, even probably less than that. And ended up being pretty good at that, actually.
Like organized.
Yeah. It was
four-wheel racing.
Yeah. At
really
big dirt tracks and things like that. And so at the age of 8, 9, 10, I couldn't even tell you how old I was. I won some. It was either the Federation's championship or the state thing. It was a long time ago, but I was pretty good at it, and something that I got to travel a little bit with that, and some good experience kind of outside of regular sports. But I think that kind of started, just the toughness and stuff like that. And
are these normal? Like if I go buy a 4-wheeler from the 4-wheeler store, that kind, or are these modified? Pretty
modified. Like I said, I was pretty young at the time, so they were the smaller ones. But definitely, my dad was the mechanic on everything, and so he knew how to soup them up to whatever the regulations were and all that stuff. So it was cool. I mean, like I said, we got to meet a lot of different people, go around a lot of different places, and once I got into like football and track and basketball, wrestling, I just kind of phased out of that, and so my brother still does it now. He's 3 years younger than me. So
still races.
Yeah, he did.
So he's 20 something and still races. So is he on like the Pro-Am circuit?
It's just kind of like I guess amateur type of thing, local tracks and stuff. I don't think it's anything crazy. It's kind of like an outlet for him and something he enjoys, and something that maybe get out of the house for a few hours, go tear up the track, and come home.
You must have to be. You talked about your dad's mechanic intuition. You must have to be a pretty good mechanic because you got to fix those things on the fly.
Oh yeah. He did all that.
You didn't get into that side of it.
Not at that age, at least. I mean, I can fix things around the house here and there, but you're not going to see me tearing apart a car.
Ditto. That's good handiwork for a throws coach too, because all the implements and the things you can do.
My girls call me like a mad scientist sometimes because I'm just sitting there and putting everything together and trying to make different implement sizes or lengths or whatever it may be. So depending on what we need.
Some of our top innovations comes from throws coaches. You can do so much more with that than say a starting block or a pit and things like that.
Of course, yeah, absolutely.
So let's get into, you went to throws Mecca.
Yes.
Why did you choose Ashland?
It's a really funny story. So my senior year, I threw 170 some feet in the discus, and I worked with a guy named Mark Valeni. Mark is used to be a professional Highland Games athlete. He's real close with Judd and with Adrian Wilson, formerly Blew It, and so he had sent multiple people to Ashland before, and kind of did like, I don't want to say personal training, but kind of was like one of the first people to start like the sports training in the area.
Like a club type? Or?
Kind of just like lifting and throwing and all that stuff, and so after I threw that, he kind of got me in touch with Judd, and I went on a visit there, and Judd will tell you this too. At the time, he was like, "I just don't know if I have a spot for you. Like, we have a million throwers." And
how many coaches would like to be in a spot where a 170-foot thrower, discus thrower comes in, and you're like, "Yeah, I don't know."
And so, but I sent him an email a little bit later, and I was like, "Hey, like, I don't know why, I just have this gut feeling I need to go here. I need to come throw for you." And and so he let me on, and because I got recruited by nobody.
Is that right?
Yep.
Really?
No phone calls, no nothing. And
I mean, you're in Ohio's a great area, Midwest in general, but Ohio, lots of great throwers, lots of great throwing schools. We mentioned a bunch of the D2 programs that are right there, but also the MAC is right there. There are a bunch of great throwers come out of the MAC, and of course the Big Ten, etc. But I'm surprised by that.
Yeah, I mean, I think like I'm not that old at all, but like just YouTube wasn't huge at the time, and just like I didn't reach out to anyone, and I think I was from a very small school, and it just didn't happen, and so which was fine, obviously it was a blessing in disguise, and so got the opportunity to go to Ashland.
So you walked on to Ashland?
I did.
Wow.
I did, yeah. I was a All-American before I had a scholarship, so. But it's just
in the ham. I just assume hammer.
Yeah, the way in the hair.
I just assume Judd.
Yeah. So, but it was something where I came in, and the first 4 to 6 weeks was very rough, and I did not know what I got myself into with training, and
just the intensity or the volume.
All of it.
Yeah.
and
anybody
just,
who knows Judd answered that question the same way. All of it.
Yeah, and just but my mindset wasn't there. I was kind of like, I had a bad edge to me, and maybe when people were telling me stuff, I wasn't responding how I should and stuff like that.
Did you come in with an attitude of like, I'm good, so I'll be able to fit in, or more of like just a kind of a rebel, like didn't really understand that.
Yeah, I think
next
kind
step
of
of
like,
personal responsibility.
Yeah, I think the rebel, and it was just, I think a lot of people thought it was not a great fit, and I wouldn't last. And the last week of fall conditioning, the last day, literally, we were doing Tabatas, and if no one knows what that is, it's 20 seconds of as many reps as you can, and then 10 seconds off, and then 20 seconds again. And you do that for.
It's in the weight room.
Yeah, in the weight room workout, and it's like for 4 to 5 minutes. It's hard.
Yeah, it sounds it.
And so did a workout there. It was not good, and then I did it again because it wasn't good the first time, and everyone kind of rallied around me, and whatever happened in that moment just kind of made me change my thought process, and from there, it was just different, I guess, and I bought into everything that Jed said, and the program, and just the amazing teammates around me, and it's just I try to explain it to people, and as you know, like, it's just a different place. Like, you don't understand how special Ashland is until you're there.
And I appreciate you saying that. And while I know some, I still can't.
Right.
Although I'm kind of getting this picture. I remember someone shared a video of the weight room.
Yes.
And it was this combination of WWE.
Yep.
Who's the big motivational speaker guy? I mean, like, almost to the point. And I was never an athlete close to what you and those guys are. Never even close, but I've been in some what I thought were intense situations of coach, whether when I was a coach or when I was an athlete. It was just a 15-second clip of a squat PR attempt. And it was like I remember it was on Facebook, and I remember commenting going, and I don't work out at all hardly anymore. And I remember commenting going, I want to go squat right now because of this.
Part of me thinks I almost know exactly.
Right? Yeah. I wonder if you did. But it just seemed like this. Like, if that can't motivate, if you can't get self-motivated, not only what Judd was doing, that's one part of it, of course. You have to have a ringleader.
Yep.
But there has to be. The circus still has to buy into it, right?
Of course.
Everybody in that video, there was not a single person, and there was a lot of people in this video, there was no one who didn't look like they weren't bought in. Everybody looked like, not only that they were bought in, but that they cared if that person actually made the attempt or not.
Yep.
And that person did make it, and of course it was mayhem.
Of course, yeah.
But it really felt like if the alternative had happened, if that kid had not made it, that everybody would have been bummed. It would have personally hurt everybody.
Yeah, and it's, like, Ashland in itself and the throwing, what Judd has created is special, but the weight room is just a whole nother level. I mean, like, when we had max out days, when even just a normal low volume training day, like, it was just always loud music, people screaming, like there was nothing but just mayhem all the time. But that's why we're so good all the time, and they're still so good, and doing what they're doing. It's just. You go into that program, you go into every day knowing you need to be the best, because if you're not, let alone somebody else in the nation, your teammate is going to pass you, because that's, it's just, I can't say enough about it. And
what is the secret sauce?
The Judge.
I
mean, that's it.
And shout out to Judd Logan right now.
Yeah, of course.
People that know, he's going through health issues.
Yes.
And someone else said this, again, I saw it through social media. They said if anybody can beat cancer, it's this guy.
Yeah.
And it literally was the most, like, you hear that in a raw side for different people that have been afflicted with that horrible disease. When it was said about Judd, and the little that I know about Judd, I know Judd not even a tenth of what you know, and I was like, oh yeah, like, yeah, of course, like, yeah, he's fine, like, he's gonna be good, like, he's gonna kill this thing,
and that's exactly what it was. And it was like, when all that kind of happened, and I think it was about a year ago when it all kind of came to out or whatever, and at first you're like, man, this is crazy, but then you're like, if anyone is gonna probably break records to beat this the fastest, it's him, and he has.
Right.
And that's the motto he's kind of done is, I don't need it to be easy, just possible.
Yeah.
And what's cool is about his mindset, and again, it goes right back to what happened with why Ashland's so good is he treated his doctor like his coach, and she gave him his practice plan to beat it, do everything he needed to, and so that was the mindset he had, and that's why he's beat it so fast, and all his tests and everything are still 0.00%. He's just been a smoke show with destroying it, and he's still getting chemo and stuff like that, but it's just kind of like the extra for everything, so it never comes back again. And then obviously the whole story of how they won the nationals indoors and outdoors as a team was just crazy. And because when I was there, we were second twice, third twice, fourth twice, and I was on some really good teams with, Drew Wendell was a 145, 800 guy. And,
that's right. Yeah, Drew.
we had 46 second 400 guys off the charts and 7.7, 7.8 hurdlers.
Right.
And I could go on and on and on.
But
it's just that team just put it together and did it. And it was just, I watched it last year on live stream, and it was just if I felt like I won, and I was not there even remotely a part of it, but that's just how I think special it was to just all the alumni,
Yeah, sure. You won't get to watch it this year because you'll be busy.
Yeah, that's right. Hopefully we'll get my own hallmark in this year.
That's right. You will, absolutely. So what have you, and we could talk about Judd for hours, literally.
Hours,
and shout out, Judd Logan's going to listen to this. I got to get Judd on the podcast. I want to hear about not only he'd be one I could do a 3-4 hour
100%,
because in growing up, how he got into athletics and then how he got into coaching, and of course now this latest chapter.
Absolutely.
I had the good fortune, one of my first hires at Gill Athletics was his son Nate.
So,
which
awesome.
was a blessing not only because Nate is an awesome guy as well, but that allowed me to get to know Judd through that as well, which
it's an incredible family. So definitely
awesome.
Very blessed and fortunate to.
So what coming from that type of environment, which is an extreme, culture is the hardest thing to build,
Absolutely.
easiest thing to destroy.
Absolutely.
And obviously Ashland has this culture. For one, definitely throws, but as you mentioned to Drew and other people, and one of our team pacer athletes, Katie Najat, came from the women's side of Ashland.
That's
but there is a tradition, this culture of competing at an extremely high level, and kids that weren't necessarily at that level coming out of high school.
Correct.
What have you taken from that to first at Northwood and now at Towson?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm the best coach, I write the best plans, but one thing I think I do really, really well that I got a lot from Judd is I make kids believe that they can do stuff more than they ever thought they could.
Okay.
And so it's just pushing kids to new limits, not only physically, but just mentally, to know that they're confident, that they're ready to go, and that, it doesn't matter what happened yesterday, what's going to happen tomorrow. Believe in yourself in the moment and just move forward. And so
now you said that very easily, that statement you made right there. That could be a Twitter post right there. It seemed like that might have been like a mantra of yours. Did you get that from a Judd or from a book or from?
That's just kind of for sure from Judd, and just kind of my own mindset, too. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a cocky person. I don't really want to talk about myself. That's just not who I am. But, I'm very confident in what I do, in my girls, in, my team, and in my life. And, and if you can be confident and you know that you got a chance every day, crazy things are going to happen.
Yeah.
So
very live in the day, live in the moment.
Yeah, and that, my first throw, my first nationals, I had a 4-foot PR and went from 14th to 5th, ended up 5th, and ever since that moment, to me, that was just my switch the light on. You know what I mean? It was just no training had said I was going to throw far, nothing like that, but I just believed in my training and I believed in myself and just went out there and let it fly, and crazy things happen. And so that's what I've done. Coaching is, try to be extremely energetic and extremely motivational, and make sure that no one's going to be as excited as me on the day. So, and I think
and again, I don't want to keep harping on Judd because this is about you, Zach, which I love. I'll bust your chops here a little bit. You don't like to make it about me, but as soon as I put the call out of who wants to be on the podcast, Zach was the first one. No, but I do love this. This.
No, of course.
Starting this podcast was about learning about this person and inside of track and field, which for a guy like you who's done it for a long time, a guy like me who's done it through when I was a poor athlete, but through that and through coaching career now at Gill, it's just so fascinating to learn about how you do what you do, and living in the moments of that right there. So and what I meant by not harping on Judd, but so how do you, what do you do with your coaching style that is like, oh yeah, I 100% do that because Judd taught me that, versus, okay, I'm not Judd Logan, right? I'm Zach Ball. I have to create my. First of all, what a great name for a thrower, a hammer thrower specifically. So how do you add and do the Zach Ball style?
For sure,
right?
For sure, and that's what one thing I've tried, like the energy of me, like. This year, a lot of my athletes, we went to Penn State. We usually go over here, and Ashland came this year. And so a lot of my athletes, I introduced them to Judd, and they kind of got to see him coach, and they all just looked at me and laughed because they saw the energy and stuff like that. But, what I've tried to do is I've had tons of great mentors, a ton of people who've, done a lot for me.
Like who else besides Judd, obviously?
Yeah, of course. A.G. Kruger, obviously, was at Ashland for forever. And, I'm a lot like him in a lot of different ways with maybe some pickiness with how I like things to be and, organization.
Are you calling A.G. picky? I just want to make sure
it's
that's
crazy,
on the
right?
record.
And anyone that knows will laugh because they know that it's so true, it's not even funny. But, I mean, he's one of my, just huge people that have been hugely... made me who I am as a coach and as a person too. And Kurt Roberts when he was at Ashland.
Oh man, another great guy.
Another guy that's just got tons of energy and just attacks every day hard, and was just a skinny little dude in high school from Athens, Ohio, and ended up throwing the shot 71, 72 feet. And, just an amazing person, and so I think and I could go on and on and on about plenty of other people, and but people like that have just kind of like. I think they all do a great job of having that, Ashland energy, but they all, also know where they are and who they are and kind of adjusting. And, I know I'm not at Ashland, and so, I try to take, what does Towson have? What are the people on my team? Who are they? What gets them going? And so, taking that, and, I have girls that are a little more soft-spoken that, when I get crazy, they just kind of stare at me like I am crazy, which I am, so it's all good. And I have another girl who's just as hype as I am, and so, just kind of balancing all that. And, I think every athlete's different, so you coach them a little bit differently depending on who they are. And I was just telling somebody this the other day, I don't think, like if I look back at every year of coaching, I don't think I've done anything the same every year. Because every year my group changes, my facilities change, the weather changes. Obviously Michigan is not the greatest to throw outside all the time when I was there. And so, I am who I am. I'm pretty passionate. I'll do anything for any of my athletes at any time. And, when they're not feeling the greatest that day, I am right there to bump them up and get ready to go. So
I think what's important, you said a lot of good things there, Zach, but we talked about that flexibility of building your own program and how things change. And a few coaches nowadays, it's getting, I don't want to overstate it and say that there's less and less nowadays, but few coaches are like a Judd that have been there for, how long should have been there now? 20 years? It's got to be pushing.
It's longer than that. I want to say like 25 years or something.
So in that case, like if you had been, when you were being recruited by Ashland, if you were more of a reserved, introverted type, and you went to a practice and saw how they did it, you would have been, rightfully so, turned off.
Absolutely.
That's not, I don't want that. That's not how, right? So what's hard for you at a Towson in your second year, because you inherited people from Jeff. And I know Jeff is a different style. There are some similarities, but there's some differences there.
Absolutely.
You're bringing in kids now, and so when they're recruiting, they're able to see, okay, this is who I do and how I am as a coach, and they can make the decision then, like, oh yeah, that's the style of coach I would like.
Exactly.
But that hard part is it's got to be 15, 20 years in the making.
Exactly. I think like one thing I tell recruits all the time, and why I think like all my groups that I've had over the last 5 years have been really tight and no issues, and they've been able to push each other, is like when I recruit kids, just as much as it's the right fit for me, it's got to be a right fit for them. And so I think that balance is important. If the number one thrower in the country wants to come to Towson, but she just is not what we want and is going to come in and ruin the chemistry that we have or whatever, then I'd rather take the kid that throws 5-6 feet less,
right.
who's got the right mindset, who's got everything, you know, that's going to come in, believe immediately,
right.
you know, mesh with my girls, and you know, probably throwing as far or farther, you know, and just a few years later. And so,
right. Now I'm going to challenge that. I'm so glad you said that, and it's on record. It's easy to say that, and I've heard that before.
Of course.
And you know, you're 27, so
yep.
you've got. Here's the crazy part. You know, there's a lot of 27 and 30-year-olds that think, "Oh man, I got to have everything, all my stuff together. I'm 30 years old." You know, you're pushing that. When in reality, especially with how medicine is getting better and better, you've got 30, 40, 50, 60 years left of coaching.
That's right. That's right.
So you're going to be, I know a guy of your talent and of your passion and desire to be in coaching and to improve not only the athletes that are in your group, but the team in general. You're gonna be challenged one day. You're gonna be at XYU University, maybe it's at Towson, maybe it's at Ashland, maybe it's somewhere else. That the number one, you know, top 10 kid's gonna want to come to your school, and they're not gonna be a good fit,
right?
And you're gonna have to tell them no.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that when that happens, we come back to this podcast and say how you did that.
Of course. Now that doesn't mean we're not trying to get the number one kid in the country, right? You know,
absolutely.
But you know, I do think that's really important. Is just the chemistry of what we have, and you know, like I said, I mean, Lauren was a 38-foot shot putter in high school.
That's amazing.
And, you know,
I love stories like that.
Yeah, you know, how many people recruited her? Probably not a ton. And you know, I'm her third coach in 5 years, and you know, everyone she's come in, gotten better, and you know, I just we had a young lady this year who was from a Division III junior college, Rowan Glaukhauser, and that coach there did an awesome job with her. And I mean, she threw 55 meters in the hammer last year, and this year has come in and just got second at ECACs, and she threw the weight like 1974, I think, as a junior, and I think she's hopefully got a pretty big hammer thrower this year. I'm not a distance guy to say stuff, but I think it's going to be pretty dang far. And you know, but she's a person who, again, like, her talent level is just off the charts. I mean, she is just big, strong, fast, like everything you want. Mindset is perfect, and not a lot of people talk to her. And the second I met her, I was like, this is exactly who I want in my program. And she's a stud. So it was a double, you know. So. But you know, all the people that, you know, we've signed already for at least the throws is you know, under that same mindset. They came in and you know, enjoyed the team, and you know, when we do recruiting visits, you know, by that time they've talked to me plenty. Right. You know, so I try to have them be with the team as much as possible, and you know, I ask the team at the end of the visit, like, what did you guys think? Right. You know, do you think this will work? Do you guys like this person, or you know, what were they saying? And I think that's why the culture that, you know, I've kind of created in 2 years of my own, and obviously, you know, come off, you know, what Jeff's, you know, did a great job of, and, you know, been able to just take it to a whole other level. And, you know, we want to be really mean competitors in the ring, but, you know, outside of the ring, we're able to goof around and be like a nice, close-knit family. So it's a great thing. How
have things changed? It's been 15 years now since I coached.
Right.
I always tell people I'm so thankful. You know, cell phones were just starting. Social media was really just starting. Facebook had just gone to other campuses. So I did not coach in that era. Thank goodness. And today, with the NCAA, with likeness rights and the transfer portal, how in just the 5 years you've coached, so think of yourself as when you were an athlete for those 4 or 5 years versus now, how much has that changed? What kind of what struggles do you deal with that environment?
Yeah, you know, I think you know, every day things change, and every year definitely changes. And you know, I think with cell phones and with, you know, social media, stuff like that, there's a lot more you know, mental health issues out there, you know, as we all see. And so, you know, just understanding that, you know, these girls have a lot of pressure on them, you know, to get good grades, to go to class, to throw really well, and stuff like that. And so just trying to find human. Yeah, exactly. You know, have a life outside of track too, which I think is equally as important. And excuse me. And you know, so I think that's a big one that changes every year. So, you know, for me, I try to, you know, the better I know the girls, the better I can understand who they are, you know, when they're having a bad day. And so, you know, when those situations arise and a girl comes and she looks at me and it's just like, it's not there today. Like, it's just one of those days, you know, we adjust training. We make that day a lot less stressful for her, and try to come back the next day and make it better. And I also tell them too. I think practice can be an outlet for life too, and an outlet for other things they may have going on. And so a lot of them take advantage of that, and really enjoy coming to practice. Maybe they say otherwise behind my back. Hopefully not.
Not every day, but most
days.
Yeah,
but I think they really enjoy coming to practice and being with everyone. And, because we spend a lot of time together. I mean, I see them more than their families do. Yeah. And, they see me more than my family does me. So, definitely, just constantly changing and communication and, just understanding, like I said, who they are, what makes them tick, and, using that to kind of be great, I guess.
Yeah. You mentioned something that I think is really important is that life outside of track. As the track coach and as the track athlete, we get very in tune to that 20 hours a week or whatever. Is it still 20 hours?
20 hours a week,
that maximum of 20 hours, plus the travel, and then, of course, there's academics that come into it because you got to make sure that they're on the right steps for academics and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
And then they're a person, so they have interest and likes and family and stuff like that.
That's right.
What do you do outside the track? So what does Zach Ball, the person, like to do?
Some people are going to laugh at this, but I mean, I love just going home, sitting on the couch, watching The Office on Netflix, and relaxing.
Don't get me started on The Office. A little known fact, my good friends know this. For 8, and this is no hyperbole, for 8 years in a row, I fell asleep to The Office every night.
That's awesome.
Every night. I recently just dumped Netflix for Disney Plus because I have 2 kids. So,
of course, yeah.
But The Office, I could probably recite every.
So what's crazy is I was extremely late to The Office.
Same.
I think the first time I watched it was, I actually think it was last year.
Oh yeah, you are late. Holy cow!
And I just never my friends in college watched it, my teammates watched it, and I just never for whatever reason got into it, and then I started watching it, and I mean it's just hilarious. Everything about it is hilarious.
Who is the Zach Ball of The Office? Are you a Dwight? Are you a?
I don't know if I'm a Dwight.
Tuna?
Maybe a Tuna.
Okay.
I would say maybe a Jim. I got the little pranks in me.
Okay.
Family person, but So I would say maybe that.
Yeah.
Definitely not a Dwight. Definitely not a Toby.
Oh yeah, of course.
So I like doing that, and I like playing golf. That's always a nice outlet. I haven't done it in a little while, but I always enjoy that. And
is that something? Was in high school, or did you pick that up in college and after?
I did it a lot in high school, and we used to play with friends a lot, and in college played a lot. With my teammates, I played with Judd. AG is a really good golfer.
Is that right?
And
I could see hammer throwers being good golfers because of the access.
Oh yeah,
access, I guess, into angles.
Oh yeah. No, and I think
staying relaxed.
I always compare it a lot to throwing because it's your best golf shots feel easy and you didn't do anything, and the technique and.
That's why I'm a terrible golfer. No golf shot feels easy.
Well, I wish my golfing was as good as my hammer throwing. So maybe one day. So I like doing that. We have 2 animals. So
what do you got?
We have a black cat, and he's just kind of does his thing. But then we have a 10-month-old bulldog, and she's a little nut. So
what are their names?
Maisie and Rennie. So shout out to them.
Maisie the cat.
The dog.
The dog.
The dog is Maisie, and the cat is Rennie. So they're. The bulldog is quite the handful.
A puppy, any puppy, but then a bulldog. Puppy,
but my athletes love her, so they love taking her on walks and stuff and helping me with her when I travel, because obviously I'm going a lot.
Right. What kind of bulldog? English
bulldog. Yeah, she's an English bulldog. She's black and white and just got all the wrinkles, all the.
Oh, I love it.
The underbite and all that stuff. So that's fun. So.
My favorite dogs are the bulldogs, the pug, anything with that face.
Yeah.
When I was at Mississippi State. Relatively soon when I got there, I got to meet Bully, the bulldog.
Oh yeah.
I was coming back when I used to eat McDonald's. I was coming back to McDonald's. I had a bag of probably a quarter pounder and fries, and Bully's there, and I'm petting him with the caretaker, and I reached in. I was like, "Oh, can I give it a fry?" Oh, you would have thought I like cursed at the dog. The owner's like, that dog does not. It's on a high protein diet. I'm like, oh, that dog eats better than I do.
Yeah, you ain't lying. No, they're crazy. Like, and their personalities are pretty cool. So
they're so loyal and kind of clumsy. I think maybe that's why I like, because they're clumsy
they're the
dorky
throws coach's dog, because they have energy for short bursts of time. They sleep a lot, eat a lot.
Right.
It's a throws coach in a nutshell. So
that's it. Exactly.
So enjoying that. Obviously, enjoying family and. One day I'll say travel, but traveling with track is what we do.
So you talk about traveling and things like that. In something that you mentioned, I caught it when you talked about the dog and the cat. You said we.
Yep.
Who is we?
Yeah, so I'm engaged. So we got engaged in August. So that's
so that's recent.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
So I appreciate it. So it's about 9 months ago, and getting married in September 2021. So
we did the same thing about a year and a half ish.
And just obviously taking the time to
in September, so not during track season.
Yep. So
is she a track
training
person?
Yeah, kind of. She played basketball and stuff too, and so definitely fortunate for that, and to have she's great to come home to. And
how is she dealing with the track coach lifestyle? You're on the road every weekend.
Yeah, of course. She handles it well. I think.
Well, there's a little hesitancy there.
Yeah, obviously it's hard for anyone, but I think she's very understanding and very allows me to follow my dreams and do it, and she loves the success and is super supportive of all of us. So it's great support system at home. And,
is she a Towson person? Like, did you meet her in the last?
No, we met up in Michigan.
Oh, very cool.
So that was fun.
Awesome.
And
that is, you hit the nail on the head when you talked about, your spouse, whether you're a male or a female coach, your spouse. It has to be a special person to deal with.
Very understanding.
Absolutely. I'm amazed. I look at some of these coaches, the older guys and gals that have been married for 20, 30, 40, and I look at the spouse and I'm like, God bless you. Like, I know where that person has been through their career,
I know.
and you've been there
through
thick and thin, man.
Yeah,
Holy
so
cow.
Definitely thankful for that, and thankful to move forward.
Huge year. You get engaged. Your team wins the ECAC, first indoor athlete.
Yeah.
What's next? Holy crap.
Hopefully an All-American.
That's right, exactly.
Yeah,
that's right. We got business to do here.
Yeah,
Let's
that's
right
what,
over.
Like, we won ECACs, and everyone's like, wow, like, what an incredible indoor season. And I'm like, we're not done yet.
Yeah.
I said, we got one more box to check this week. So, I'm pretty excited for her. Training's been off the walls, and
cool.
She's confident. I'm confident, and like I said, 4 weeks ago is where her PR was here, and we were in the same hotel, and like I said, we flew into the exact same gate that we did last time.
Amazing.
So there's just a lot of little omens that are telling me that
right.
it's time. So.
Right.
So yeah, we'll see what's next.
And so you talked about traveling, and obviously for track, travel a lot of different places.
Yep.
I think you said you head to Texas next week for an outdoor opener.
That's right.
Where have you personally traveled? And it could be through a track trip, but where have you traveled that you're like, man, this was a cool place?
So it was track, because last year, my second best shot putter, Michaela, she competed for Italy last year at the European Under-23 Championships, which was in Sweden.
And you got to go.
And I got to go.
Oh, how cool is that?
That was my first time out of the country, and so to go over there with her, and she made the final, and to compete and just watch, the best of the best, and with these coaches and with these athletes, and just all these different languages, and just being somewhere totally different, and driving the smallest car I probably will ever drive again in my life. So little stuff. So it was an incredible experience. I was over there for a week with her.
Wow. And did you drive on the wrong side of the road?
Nope. Sweden's the same as us.
Okay, good.
I was a little worried about that. So,
right.
But
That's
it was
cool.
an incredible experience, and Sweden has great coffee. So if anyone likes coffee,
you a big coffee guy?
I like a cup or two or four.
You came in with the Starbucks.
Yeah, I
you
got
said a couple, 3, 4.
Yeah. And my girls always, they're like, how many have you had today? I'm like, I'm good to go. Let's roll.
Now, are you a coffee guy or are you a coffee snob?
No,
do you just order coffee, or do you order the cocoa minto latte frappuccino.
No. Just plain black. That's
okay.
it. No cream, no sugar.
Yep.
So when I first started going to Starbucks, I was like, can I just have a medium black? And that's not how you say it at Starbucks. So I got the lingo down.
Yeah,
so
I do. I still go with a medium. Yeah, you can translate whatever you want.
Grande?
And do you get coffee or do you get I just switched a few years ago to Americano.
Okay.
Have you had Americano?
I actually had one in Sweden.
I
think I had like a cappuccino too. I tried some different stuff because everyone told me that the coffee there is just off the charts.
And it was, huh?
Yeah, it was different. I was wired for sound with like one cup. and I can caffeine for a throat coach is like nothing.
Right.
I don't know what they do over there, but it is oxygen. But it's a lot of fun. So that was a great experience. So but I'm just plain black. Starbucks is I guess the preference, and but Dunkin's fine.
Yeah, Dunkin's good. I tell you, McDonald's has really good regular coffee.
Yeah. So any I like a cup or two or something. Like I said, maybe meat day 4 or 5. Whatever.
So you got the coffee maker in the hotel room.
Oh yeah.
Stocked and ready to go.
I had one this morning, and then went down to breakfast and had a couple more, and and then got a Starbucks too. So I guess I'm like 3 or 4 today. So.
Cow.
So, but we got in late, so I gotta make sure
we've got to get Swedish coffee and send it to Judd and his group and just.
Oh man!
I don't know what that would be. That'd be like a nuclear.
Brew in there, yeah. So I love a good cup of coffee.
Where do you want to go? Where's a place that you're like, I've never been there, but I'd love to go.
We're hoping. My fiance's grandparents live in California, so I've never met them. They're 90 and 91 years old.
Wow!
So hopefully go there.
What part?
They're near LA. I could not tell you the city, but they've been there forever. They actually came over from Korea or Japan or China, one of those. I probably messed it up 60, 70 years ago, and so, but they've lived in LA for forever now. So
first of all, make sure you know that before you visit.
I know, right?
Second of all, that's super interesting.
Yeah, very cool. So hopefully go meet them in California this summer. And country-wise, so Michaela is still going to throw for Italy, obviously moving forward, and so we'll see what happens with all this crazy health stuff right now.
Sure.
But Euros is senior Euros is in Paris this year, so hopefully we'll get her to go, and so I'll go to Paris with her, and so that'll be a great trip.
And does she have a shot at the Olympics?
We'll see.
Yeah,
in Italy she was the second best one last year. Obviously it's all about hitting the magic distance, so we have a little bit of ways to go to do that, but I think she's definitely got the talent to do that. It's just what happens this year, and I guess what I have her do. So,
well, to be in that position, first of all, it's special. How many people? So great athletes never even get to that type of aspiration.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
So it's pretty cool. So be around with her, and I have another young lady coming in next year that'll be a freshman, and her mom's from Barbados, so she's going to compete for Barbados.
Wow.
So we'll get to do some cool stuff with her, and I would like to go to Australia one day. I think that would be.
I think everybody wants to go.
Yeah, who doesn't, right?
Yeah.
So, but I've never traveled a ton, but
kind of stayed in the Midwest.
Yeah,
Midwesterns tend to do that. I think that's a huge generalization.
That Midwestern hospitality,
right?
So.
Yeah.
So hopefully more travel in the future.
And you'll get Kentucky for regionals.
Yep.
And then Austin again for nationals.
Yeah, hopefully Austin, and we'll be in, like I said, Texas next week. We'll be down in Florida for Florida relays.
Right. Yep. Great.
Go to Philadelphia is pretty close, but we'll be in Penn relays. So a lot of cool places.
Yeah.
So we'll see what the year brings.
Yeah, I hope. You mentioned the health thing and it's coronavirus and whatnot.
Of course.
I hope that they're canceling stuff left and right.
Yes,
it's amazing.
It's crazy.
And I'm glad obviously the NCAA we're continuing on here with indoors.
Yes.
But Texas Relays came out and said, we're still good to go for now.
Yep.
Penn Relays, the Jamaican Federation, said they're not sending any of their the high schools, and that's a huge tradition.
Yeah, they're a huge part of that.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I didn't hear that.
Yeah, it just came out. Yeah. The things that I have to monitor because of sales and stuff like that.
Of course.
But it's amazing how it affects people, and then are you seeing it at Towson at all? Like some schools are going to online only for the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll probably go to that too. It's just a precautionary type of thing, you know. So we'll see what happens. I mean, you know, Lauren and I were talking about it a little yesterday, and we're just like, you know what, our goal right now is just get out there Friday, you know, American, and you know, take everything else day by day, and you know, kind of go from there. So it's not something I'm gonna lose sleep over right now, and you know,
I think that's the right attitude.
Yeah, you know, I'm gonna focus on what's in front of me and what I got going on now,
and what you can control.
Exactly, that's probably the key phrase right there. You know, so. We'll see what happens, and whatever challenges come, we'll take care of them as they come. So
well, in the podcast world, you record on one day, and you don't necessarily know when it's actually going to publish.
Right.
I think this will publish on Saturday. I think so. When people are going to listen to this, have the first opportunity to listen, will be Saturday.
Okay.
And since the main audience is track, I'm assuming no one's going to listen to it on Saturday because that's the finals for everybody.
Yeah, of course.
D3.
We got Sunday.
Crews everywhere. Yeah, it'd be great on the plane Sunday.
Go.
That's exactly right. So it'll be fun to put in the notes how she does.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is competition Friday or Saturday?
Friday, yep. She competes Friday at 5 p.m. So.
I think I'll put in the notes about how, you know, that, hey, you know, we talked about this before, and then here's what happened. I think something special is going to happen.
I hope so. Like I said, I've got a pretty good feeling, and she's got a good feeling, and, you know, the support at Towson's been incredible. With just her teammates and administrators, and, you know, the president's been shouting her out on social media, stuff like that.
So
it's
cool.
A lot of backing, and like I said, she actually works in the athletic department and does game day stuff. So she's a pretty popular person around, and so we're pretty excited, and, you know, hopefully we'll be getting an extra carry-on coming.
That's right. Exactly. That's right. Well, she sounds special, and you know, and special athletes have special coaches and support staff, administration behind them. And Zach, it's been so awesome. I know we got to get ready. You got to go practice.
Yeah, we're gonna.
You've got a job to do.
That's right. I know. I got to actually work now, so I can't just sleep and eat. You know.
Well, you get too much caffeine in you. I don't know how you sleep.
You know.
So you got practice today.
Yep.
Today's Wednesday, right? So Thursday, another practice session,
tomorrow,
and then compete on Friday.
So we're gonna go kind of just shake out today and just get in the environment and just kind of take everything in and get her comfortable. And
do you have any superstitions?
For me, I really don't. I guess when I was an athlete, I did. You know, with the same socks and what I ate and stuff like that. You know, as a coach, you know, it's just, I guess, you know, maybe time to get there and just kind of, you know, what she likes to do moving forward. But like I said, she's very simple, and she doesn't let changes, you know, deter her of what she wants to do. So
that's a huge asset for her.
Yeah, it's great for a coach too. It's very very calming. Yeah, you know. So, but yeah, we're gonna get there today. Just get her comfortable in the environment. Go over, you know, just how everything's gonna be, and then shake out. And then tomorrow, have a little pre-meet throw session. Get a cue or two that's working for us, and let her rip on Friday. So
that's it, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
So excited for you.
Absolutely.
I love the pedigree that you come from.
Absolutely.
More important, I'm excited to see the pedigree that you leave for other athletes and other coaches.
For sure.
You know, I have no doubt that one day, 20 years from now, we're going to be talking about the Zach Ball as we talked about the Judd Logan.
Yeah, hopefully. Like I said, you know, I've been fortunate to have great mentors, great family, great, you know, people behind me supporting me, and so, you know, I'm going to give what I can to the sport and to my athletes, and see how far we can go. So.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
man.
Appreciate it, man.
Awesome.
Absolutely,
it's been such a blast.
Absolutely.
Now, go out and do your job.
That's right.
And get another coffee.
That's right. Go Tigers.
That's it, baby.
Well, Zach, thank you so much. Again, just so incredibly humbled you would spend some time with me. You know, again, completely gutted for Zach's athletes and all the athletes and coaches around the world. You know, we work extremely hard on a daily basis to empower coaches with innovative equipment. And, you know, that doesn't matter if you don't get to perform and practice. So just completely gutted. We are looking forward to the future. We move on just like coaches do. You continue to prepare for what is next. So you can only control what you can control. And so let's all work together and go make the best experience for all of our athletes and programs in 2021. Hey, if you've made it this far, man, really appreciate you joining us today on today's podcast. Hope you enjoyed connecting with Zach as much as I did. He's a great young coach. We were sure to hear more from him as his career continues to elevate. Make sure to subscribe to the podcast on your podcast player of choice, whether that's iTunes. I personally use Overcast, whatever app you may use for that, but make sure you're subscribing because this won't be a regular every Monday, every week or something like that. As I get guests and we record, I will publish them. Speaking of that, if you would like to be a guest on the show, we can do this by phone. I do prefer in person because I just think there's more magic that way. But if we can't do it in person, we can certainly do it over the phone on the app that I use to create these podcasts, the Anchor app. But if you want to be on the show or you know someone that should be on this show, contact me at hurdle@gillathletics.com. That's right, hurdle@gillathletics.com. In the meantime, hope you feel led to share this podcast on your social media network of choice so others can enjoy this podcast episode and the others that we have. Make sure you go back and check out the backlog and again, subscribe so you can see the future log. Join us next time when we once again connect you with another great track and field coach. Bye.